A really brief, short video on my hair color correction video. I did an experiment where I took different ways of color corrections and I combined them. Now, the video I did was very long, and I know it was long, and it was made for cosmetology students, but I know that a lot of, the regular people that are not licensed like to watch my videos. And that's fine, because I think that by teaching everyone, it helps everyone learn how these processes work, and it makes you more likely to go to a professional. And it also helps professionals learn. So I wanted to just take the experiment part and do a whole separate in-depth overview, because I do know that when I did the video, that part of the video was a little too brief, if you will. So again, just to overview, I did on the left side of the mannequin, I did the bleach light color remover. On the right side, I did the perm light color remover. On the back left, I did the color liquid perm light color remover. On the right side of the mannequin, I did high lift and 40 volume. On the back right, I did half the hair with clear hair color, 20 volume. And then underneath, I did just bleach and hot water. And that was my experiment. So I had two mannequins. This mannequin over here on the left was treated with semi-permanent color or direct dye, aka a hairdresser's nightmare, because nothing really removes it properly. And on the right, I used oxidative hair color. And this mannequin was also permed, so you also see the issues that you might run into when you have a client who has chemically distressed hair and a texture service, because that really raises the stakes that something will go wrong a lot higher. So starting out, I'm gonna go over the side that I use the bleach light color remover. So this color remover, I use L'Oreal's color remover. Now this one, you can also find L'Oreal Effisol. It's the same one. It's the same one that you can also get at CVS. It's just that they charge us professionals a lot less for it. So what I did was I mixed it with 20 volume, and you can also use it with water if you just want to bump out some color or lighten it a shade or two. I've done that when I'm transitioning clients back to gray hair, or they just want a lighter look. So this mannequin, as you can see, the part of the hair that had the perm and there was no overlap fared a lot better. It still feels like it needs a little tender loving care. Now up top, you do see a lot of massive breakage, and that's because the mannequin, there was some overlap with the high lift, but also because the mannequin was bleached more heavily up there, and that's what caused the overreaction. So this is the type of color remover that can cause massive damage, but it does its job well. It takes everything out, but it will also lift your natural hair color. On the mannequin that had semi-permanent hair color, she still got a heck of a lot of blue in there. It did bump it out enough and made it look a lot better, but it still feels roughed up and it feels a little junky. But not as bad as this one. This mannequin was less processed. What I also did was underneath, I took the special color remover for direct dye, which is ammonia-free, and look at that. It looks like it just maybe bumped it up a little bit. It made it look more pastel-y. So it kind of gave it a washed out look. She looks like one of those 1990s plastic cups. So if you compare this right here to that, I prefer the bleached one over the ammonia-free one. So this one did the best, I gotta say, out of all of them. The bleach did a lot better at bumping out and getting rid of the direct dye. And that's what makes it difficult, is because direct dye, you got to remember, this mannequin, she's been bleached, so her hair is porous. When you have porous hair and you throw color on it, it's going to grab the cold and reject cool tones and reject the warm. And what ends up happening is you get a client, if your client wants to be blue and your hair is fried, dyed, and laid to the side, it's going to look a heck of a lot better at grabbing those cool tones as opposed to someone who has natural warmth. So that was that. Going to the right side where I used high lift and 40 volume. If you look at this high lift was a blue base, because typically when you're using a high lift, you want to typically get a cooler base because most clients want control. And what happened is it kind of enhanced the blue. And then if you look, the mannequin's hair feels really good still. It's not compromised. It felt a heck of a lot better than the bleach side. It did discolor the purple, and it did start to remove some of it, but it also made it look a little bit more cooler toned. Now on this side of the mannequin, this hair looks more of like a lighter natural brown. It did get rid of some of the red that was in there because I used a level 4 red hair color, and the hair feels much healthier than the bleach side. But did it really remove the hair color? It just kind of bumped it about a shade or two. Again, because color, even though they say color doesn't lift color, in rare cases with high lift hair color, which is more alkaline, has more ammonia, and you use a higher peroxide, you're gonna bump it a shade or two. If you're really lucky, maybe 2 shades, but you will get about a shade lighter. Now on to the back right quadrant. Now I find that it looks like the high lift did a little bit better than the clear and 20 volume. I used clear hair color, which is just ammonia in a tube, and I put it on the hair. The hair feels a lot healthier compared to the other parts of the hair. She does have a bit of a porosity issue, so she's gonna get a conditioning treatment. So right over here, it looks like it bumped her about 1 shade, and she does have a little bit more warmth compared to the high lift, but it looks natural. It's not like she's, screaming orange. Now in the back right over here, where I did the clear and 20 volume on the direct eye, it almost made the blue look a lot lighter. So the blue here looks like a brighter, more warmer blue, if that makes sense, compared to the blue that's kind of faded out over here. And underneath, didn't really do much with the purple. So the clear and 20 volume took out some color, but didn't really do a lot. And this mannequin, by the way, has been covered with, I think, about 5 rounds of semi-permanent color. And that makes a difference because, typically when your client comes in and she's got, the crazy hair color, a lot of those colors, they overlap and overlap and overlap, and that will impact the color. So sometimes you can do 1 round of color remover and it's not gonna do anything, but you do that second round and then you're gonna start to see some stuff. But typically on a good head of hair, you don't wanna do more than 2 rounds in 1 day. Send her home, recondition the hair, and do it in a few more days, or if you really wanna play it safe, 2 full weeks. Because that way she'll be washing her hair at home, she won't be doing anything, and you're gonna get more fadage, so when you do the next round of treatments, it will come out a lot better. So underneath, I did bleach and warm water. And underneath here, on this mannequin, you can see, look at this. Warm water and bleach. There was no developer. Warm water and bleach does bump out color if you need it. On semi-permanent color, the warm water and bleach lightened this a little bit. It created that alkaline environment because all warm water and bleach does is swells that cuticle. So I did notice some good fadage on this. This was actually a lot darker. So when I did the warm water and bleach, this rinsed heavily because what was happening is we're not gonna go in there and we're not gonna push the color in deeper. What can happen is over-processed color can turn darker. I've seen people that were this pastel, like blue-green right here, they put bleach and 20 volume on, and what happens, it ends up turning dark or really almost like a dark black, because what's happening is that bleach is opening up the cuticle with the developer, and they're shoving the bleach in deep. This right here is just creating an alkaline pH, so what happens is the color just fades out. And that is a heck of a lot safer and more effective, I find, for semi-permanent color compared to oxidative color. Oxidative color, you really need the developer if you want to see a good result, because this right here, underneath, if you can see this, that's all bleach and warm water. It's very brassy and orange, but look at this. This is bleach and 20 volume. That the bleach-like color remover pretty much is bleach. Look at how lighter this is compared to that. This is way more brassy. This, you're definitely gonna be able to tone or recolor easily, as opposed to this where you're left with the screaming orange head. Now, the bleach and warm water on oxidative color works just fine, I find, for box black color, multiple layers, because what you're gonna do is you're gonna put that over the box black color, you're gonna start to fade out the color, and then you can go in there with the liquid color remover and really take some stuff out. So there's ways to use it before or after. I think that when you do this, the bleach and warm water, and you just start to wash out as much as possible, that makes the liquid color remover way more effective at what it does. So on to the last part of the experiment, and that was using the liquid color remover, which stunk to all high heavens, but I found it was the most gentlest remover. This feels a lot healthier compared to this, which is the bleached side. The bleach-like color remover is very, very drying to the hair. That piece of hair doesn't want to go anywhere, so just ignore that. So this right here, you can see that this mannequin, she was highlighted. This was the liquid color remover. Look at how that bleached part of the mannequin washed out really well, but the dark side of it Not so much. So then we go underneath, and you can see that underneath on the mannequin, you know, she still is dark. This right here was not treated with anything. That was kind of like my control, so you can see what the hair was like beforehand. Look at how much lighter this got. This really did a good job at rinsing out all the color molecules. Some parts of it up here where there was some overlap redarkened, and that was to be expected. If you don't fully rinse all of the color molecules out of the hair, it will redarken, and that scares people. I've seen people who had blonde hair and they just had layer upon layer upon layer of box black hair dye. They do around a color remover, they think they got all the color out, and what happens is they don't do a second round, they don't run the checker through the hair, they go to mix that color, or the blonde toner, they put it on, all of a sudden they start to see the color go whoop, back to dark, or a very scary bluish color, and they're like, oh my goodness, what the heck happened? Well, it's because you didn't rinse all the color molecules out. This is just like perm solution. It causes all the color molecules to shrink, and because the color molecules are shrunken, they wash out of the hair. What you need to do to make this more effective is you need to use a very high pH shampoo or a shampoo that has perm solution in it. I have a shampoo that's acidic in pH, but it does have low amounts of thio in it, and it's not enough thio to damage the hair or cause the hair to break off or to perm it, but it's enough thio because thio is one of the best chelating ingredients. You put thio on hair, you'll see everything that's in that hair. Like I say, you know, if you put perm solution on a client that has metallic hair color, you will know immediately. It'll turn funky colors, it'll smoke. If the client has some product in their hair, it'll start to bubble off and come right out. If a client's had previously colored hair and you put a perm on, you can see that color just wash right out of the hair. This does a good job at doing that. Underneath, if you saw what this was like right here, it was very dark. Into this. This is a better base to color on as opposed to this. This also feels a lot healthier compared to this. If you also see, like I said, this doesn't lift natural color. There was some natural hair in the mannequin. None of that got lifted out. You notice the lighter pieces where she was highlighted. So this, I find, is a much better option. Over here, this, by the way, this liquid color remover is not made to be used with semi-permanent color that's already been oxidized. This is oxidative color, this is direct dye. The color you mix here, you mix and it grows. Here, the molecules have already been oxidized, made bigger. Look what happened. This discolored badly. This turned a weird, funky shade. This almost even turned bluer. See how this is all faded? Look at how this turned. It does funky stuff to semi-permanent color. It turned this purple right here that was like a pink, it was more of a magenta into a weird purple. It was like that, and it made it darker like this. Can you see that? Look at how it went from there to there. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing, but it's not what the client wanted. And underneath was just my control. This is what the color was like underneath, and the liquid color remover did not do its job correctly on the semi-permanent color. So if there's anything to be learned from this, is that color corrections are difficult. No two people will have the same color correction. There are so many options in our toolbox. What you want to do is you want to do your best to give your client what she wants, but you want to make sure it is within reason. Sometimes the client wants something that's not possible. You know, your client wants to be Marilyn Monroe after being box black, and let's say, you know, you're not strong enough to say no when you start bleaching her hair. Look what's going to happen. You're going to have a lawsuit and breakage. Color correction products can be damaging. Personally, I find the liquid color remover is a better choice to go. Can you damage hair with it? Heck yeah. Can it be used on all types of the hair? Heck no, as seen as the point with semi-permanent color. I'd be a lot happier, you know, using the liquid color remover, conditioning the hair, and doing it slow and steady like you're supposed to do, because most clients are not coloring their hair the correct way. Now, is there a time and place for the bleach-like color remover? Heck yeah, but I prefer to use bleach. Why waste money on it? I just get a tub of bleach, I get some shampoo, and I do a little bleaching shampoo. It works just as well, if not more effective, and you save money. You don't have to go out and buy 5 million brands. But I do think that every salon should have the liquid color remover because you need it in your toolbox. Doesn't matter if you get it from the drugstore or Sally Beauty Supply, it is the same chemistry. So that is my little experiment here, made easier, and at least you can get in depth and see what it looks like. So please like, comment, subscribe, share this video. Comment down below and tell me what you like, or ask questions. I'm doing my best to answer because I've been really busy with everything in life, but I'm there for y'all, and I really love the audience I've been building on here. So have a safe and happy Thanksgiving, and I'll see y'all soon.